Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, World of Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Bashation 25CL. Over a year ago, I made a video on this tank. I talked about its statistics and why it looked absolutely insane, and the fact that it was probably going to dominate the game if it was released. And thankfully, Wargaming has nerfed its original statistics since then. I think it had like 3,200 DPM with a 4-shell 300 alpha clip in Tier 9. Obviously, it wasn't going to stay like that. It was just a TVP at Tier 9. So we're going to be taking a look at the vehicle's statistics today. But not only that, we're going to be talking about the fact that you might be able to get your hands on it for absolutely free. As we can see in the Wargaming official Discord, strengthen your clan. Mark your calendars. The upcoming clan event kicks off in May. This is your opportunity to get the all-new Tier 9 Bashation 25-ton Avenir. They did change the name of the vehicle. It used to be Bashation 25-ton CL, and now it says Avenir on the side, which is alright. But, yeah, it's honestly really cool that Wargaming is releasing, yet again, another clan event. In the past, we had the Waffenträger Ritter, which was pretty easy to get your hands on. All you needed to do was complete your clan missions weekly, and you'd be able to get the tank. And the other vehicle was the 50 TP prototype, and that was the easiest thing ever. You just had to tune, get Brothers in Arms, which I did, like, all the way down in Tier 4. Got it within the first few hours of playing the game, which is kind of crazy. So, we will see how this event works. I'm expecting it to be on the easier side for skilled players, but you're probably going to need a pretty popular clan to get the job done. So, I guess we'll see. But yes, let's break into its statistics. Before we break into the stats, I should mention this vehicle is fully kitted out with calibrated shells, enhanced gun laying drive, and V-stabs for our equipment. We are also running engine accelerator for the mobility, so obviously the base stats will be a little different from what we're looking at here, but nobody's driving a tank based off of the stats without food and provisions, so that's pretty obvious. Let's take a look what we got going for it. 2,500 DPM. That's actually pretty nice. I'm not going to lie. That's very good. Especially for a Tier 9. That's pretty close to the Tier 10 Bashation, which is sitting at like 28-ish hundred. So, yeah, not bad at all. I cannot complain about 2,500 DPM on an autoloader. This vehicle features a 3-shell gun, which deals 310 damage per shot with a 2.4 second intra-clip. That is very nice. The Bashation 25-ton has, what, a 2.8 second intra-clip? So this is 0.8 seconds of overall dumping time faster. And that means that you're going to be able to get all of your shells out in around 4.8 seconds. That is insanely fast. I kind of wish the Bashation 25-ton had a 2.5 second base intra-clip, and then they removed the shell reload boost, as it would just make the tank so much more enjoyable in most situations, and less annoying in those really cringe situations. But the bat chat is obviously incredibly strong right now, so I don't really want much to change on the vehicle. But yeah, 2.4 second intra-clip is insane. You're going to be able to deal 930 damage in a super short amount of time. Shell velocity-wise is also great, 1,040 meters a second on the AP, and if you swap over to the APCR, it's 1,240 meters a second, so you're not going to have to worry all too much there. Penetration, we can see is meh, it's 236 mils on the standard, and that is with Cali. So yeah, you're not having too much penetration, and the premium isn't that much better either, 280 mils of APCR. It's not like the worst, but you're not going to be able to cut through the majority of heavily armored vehicles in Tier 10. Type 71 upper plate, nah. IS-7 upper plate, nah. IS-4, yeah, now you're able to, because that thing has no armor. E-100 turret, Jagdpanzer superstructure, that's not going to happen. Honestly, you might even struggle to pen the VK-90 lower plate with 290 mils or 80 mils of APCR. So, yeah, it's not great on that regard, but it is APCR, so at least it'll be able to cut through spaced armor. I do kind of wish, though, that it had heat, but you know what? The Bashation has heat, and it has the worst shell velocity ever, so I guess you can only pick and choose. When it comes to the HE, this thing is crazy. 440 alpha. What the heck? It's also not even awful on pen at 58 mils. If you get to a tank destroyer that's lightly armored, a grill, a Waffenträger, or a Borsig, woo, or you just get to the rear of mediums, I mean, you can literally just nuke, what is that, 1,320 HP in 4.8 seconds? That is insane. So yeah, in certain regards, this vehicle is a little bit nutty. I will say that right now. Oh, man. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Dispersion on move is pretty bad, though. 0.15, yeah, that's oof. 0.12 is usually what you're looking at. That's like a good value. It's what the Boss Chatillon has. It's what the Leopard has. 0.13 is okay. 0.156 is pretty bad, I'm going to be honest. This vehicle is going to bloom a lot. It's going to feel like the stock Boss Chatillon gun that you can drive on tier 10. So yeah, not the best there. Its dispersion is also pretty mediocre. I will admit that as well. 0.344. Some of you might say, well, just run refined gun, but then your on move is 0.18. Don't do that. Stick with V-stabs. This vehicle is going to need it. That is the major balancing factor right there. You're going to have to basically sit still and wait for this tank to aim in before you can confirm your pens, or you might be missing a lot of shells. Just like every other Boss Chatillon, only 6 degrees of gun depression, but that's quite expected. 62 kilometers per hour in a top speed, 18 in reverse, with a very good power to weight of 35 on hard terrain and 28 on medium. It's a bat chat. It's always going to be fast, so that's nothing too surprising. Its top speed isn't the highest, but it's pretty good for a light tank, so that's always quite nice. Something you might notice is that this vehicle does not feature, at least as of now, Spall Liner. Maybe it'll get it in the future, but I don't see Spall Liner existing on this tank, which means that it is going to be HE prone, and we'll be taking a look at the armor in just a moment. 1750 HP, actually a decent amount to be completely honest. So yeah, stats-wise, this vehicle looks great. I mean, the DPM is fantastic, the intraclip is amazing, and its overall damage output seems fine. While its overall on-movement dispersion isn't great, I think it should still be fine and good enough to get the job done, as long as you aim in, and I think it's a good balancing factor to combat that super fast intraclip. When it comes to the armor, it's pretty bad. Lower plate, 56 mils. The sides are only about 40, and the rear is also about 35 to 40, so you're not going to be getting many bounces. The upper plate can be a bit trolled, it's about 128, because of the auto ricochet angles at certain spots. You will be bouncing this vehicle. The base armor of the upper plate is also 60 mils thick, so that means the only tank that can actually overmatch your upper plate is an FE2 and 5B 183. So if you are using 6 degrees of gun depression, or you're just driving along, people can actually bounce this. But yeah, it's not going to be getting too many bounces. At least the turret is strong enough that you're not going to be HE'd, but it's still not great, and I'll tell you that right now. Overall, the Boss Chatillon Avenir feels... Avenir? I don't know how you pronounce it. Either way, this vehicle seems fantastic. It's got great everything going for it, and it's going to be a fantastic clan reward. So if you are planning to get your hands on this vehicle, I would highly recommend to do so. Participate in this next upcoming month's clan event. I definitely will be, and I'll have a video out the moment this tank gets released in game, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm really excited for this vehicle, though. I am a big fan of the Boss Chatillons in general. I think the tier 9's great, but I think this vehicle completely leaves the tier 9 in the dust when you compare the two. So, I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of how the Ritter is as well. That's how the 50 TP... Actually, no, I'd say the 50 TP tech tree is just as good, if not better, in certain regards to the 50 TP Proto. But definitely the Ritter kind of leaves the waffle in the dust. I guess we'll see if this is the same for the Avenir. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye, and make sure to click that subscribe button down below for more information like this.